Hi, and welcome to Web Radio Interviews. Our guest today is Rich Keal, founder of Generational Wealth Partners and PhD Wealth. How are you doing today, Rich?
Outstanding. Glad to be here.
I know there's a lot that could be said right now about the financial services world, but maybe we could start by having you tell us about your journey and how you came to see the world so differently.
Thank you, Randy. Out of 24 years in the financial services industry, I came to a huge revelation just 12 years ago. I had an amazing revelation. I was standing in an airport. I was on a sales call and saw two books sitting side by side on a shelf in the bookstore. And one was called The Roaring 2000s, and the other was called The Crash of the Millennium. And it just blew my mind. And I had a grin on my face, ear to ear, and a buddy of mine said, what are you grinning about? And I said, look at those books. And he goes, what? And I said, you don't get it? I said, the institutions we're representing don't have to care which way that goes. And that just galvanized me. And I went, look, they're risking our money, not their money. And it doesn't matter to them who's right or wrong. I'd already realized that the traditional financial planning world that was developed on risk-reward, there just had to be a better way than somebody just throwing the dice and hoping they could win. So that put me on a journey to look for methodologies, processes, and philosophies that were centered on high reward, low risk. And I have discovered it is possible.
Now, in some of our conversations, you mentioned that you like to have people get some background education in financial concepts before you even meet with them. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Love to. After sitting down with hundreds and hundreds of people over time, I realized that educated clients ask better questions and they move further down the road much faster. It's imperative that the folks that we work with understand our philosophy and where we're going before we meet. We're not interested in the order of the day and what's been going on. This crisis that's been created has opened people's minds to a new paradigm, and we have that paradigm. And the books that we sell on our website will get them up to speed very quickly. We're very committed to financial literacy, and that's the first stage.
Now, there's four things that you've mentioned to me before. One is philosophy, the other is process, people, and then product is like at the end of the list. Tell me and the listeners about those things and what separates you from traditional financial planning.
Absolutely wonderful question. Without a sound philosophy, you can't win. Number one, if your philosophy is built on risk-reward and the risk-reward paradigm, you're dead from the start. If once you have a philosophy that's high-reward, low-risk, and you plug it into a process where if you knew you couldn't lose, how would you play the game? That's really how we operate. And the next step is our people. We have attorneys and accountants and professionals on our platform that are second to none. And the last thing we talk about are financial products. Products are incidental. They're everywhere. Those are just tools. Those tools must adapt to first your philosophy and your process and your people. And it's taken us 12 years to get to the place where we now have some amazing folks on our staff and within our circle that can help people get where they need to go.
Now, most people in the financial world have heard of Robert Kiyosaki, and he did the investing public a huge favor by teaching about cash flow and passive income. But a lot of people were left wondering how to engage the process. Did he go far enough, and is there another layer to this?
Well, I'm very thankful for Robert Kiyosaki, and I guess he did go far enough. He's kind of first stage in the process. He created an amazing awareness, but after reading his first book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, of which I had my own experience. My dad was a educated engineer, and my best friend's dad was a high school dropout, one of the largest developers and builders in Hilton Head, South Carolina. What an amazing contrast I had growing up. But I realized it just because somebody had an education in engineering had nothing to do with their ability to comprehend finance. We've picked up where Robert Kiyosaki left off. We're the foot soldiers on the ground that literally can grab folks by the hand and take them through a process. We have our program called Cash Flow Coach. And it's just a phenomenal step in the learning process of how to handle one's money. And bless Bob for what he's done in terms of awareness. But if we're going to win the battle as Americans, we're going to have to develop more and more financial folks on the ground that can help people go through that process. The main inhibitor there is the financial services industry is built on a particular compensation model that doesn't necessarily pay the professionals that are out there right now to do this for people. That's the trend that we want to break.
Now, you've talked also about self-direction and contracting among free people. What do you mean by those terms, and how would you describe that to people?
I think that's really the highest evolution of personal finance, that once someone is fully educated, they've been through all of the processes, they understand what they're doing at a very, very high level, they would have the ability to do their own private deals. They don't need me. They need to have an understanding of money. And I think people have been treated very poorly. They've been put at a disadvantage because the financial institutions have made this thing so complex that most people throw up their hands and say, I can't do it. I got to have them. Well, our clients don't feel that way. Our clients feel empowered. They feel in control. And what we're really trying to do is put ourselves out of business one person at a time.
Finally, for somebody interested in just exploring the next step, is there something simple that they can begin to do right now?
Absolutely, and that is read the 2 books, click on the link on this website, and go buy my books. All you have to do is buy my first 2 books, join a pre-reading webinar and a post-reading webinar. I'll guarantee you that I'll pay the money back for the books if you're not absolutely moved to a new level of understanding of finance, and everybody wins. We're really seeking educated clients and an educated public, and we're not afraid to put it all out there.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time today, and thank you to the listeners. We will talk to you again.
Thank you.